Good morning, Brian Calley calling.
Lieutenant Governor Calley, thanks for taking the time to speak with us today. Jason Cooper, WFNT, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Before we get to World Autism Day and Autism Awareness Month, a couple of quick questions on some other topics, if I may.
Sure.
Proposal 1, increasing the Michigan sales tax to help fix the roads. A new EPIC MRA poll shows that if the election were held today, it would be voted down overwhelmingly 3-1. I've heard the governor's pitch on fixing the roads and increasing the sales tax. What's yours?
It is critically important that we not leave the problem of fixing roads and bridges for the next generation. It gets more expensive to fix our roads every day because we go from having to repair them to having to replace them. And so we need a permanent, ongoing fix to our roads to give people the safe and effective and smooth roads that they deserve. And so it's a long process over the course of next month. There's a lot of time to get the word out about why this is critically important. And I'd point out too that Proposal 1 of 2014, people showed going down 2-1, and it passed 2-1. And so it's notoriously difficult to pull proposals, a lot different than candidates, and so the track record of pollsters isn't all that good on proposals. So I think in this case, people get it. People know that our roads need fixing, and this is really our shot to get it done. And it's been over the course of the last 20 years, our political system has not been able to come up with a way to fix our roads. Proposal 1 gets it done, so now's the time.
Is there a plan B? I know a state legislator has floated the idea of taking money from Michigan Catastrophic Claims Fund. Is there a plan B if, for some reason, Proposal 1 doesn't pass in May?
A lot of people have ideas, and the problem is those ideas don't have the votes to get passed. So over the course of the last 20 years, there have been every idea that you can possibly think of has been put on the table. None of them, except for Proposal 1, have had the votes to get passed. In fact, most of them haven't even had enough support to get a vote in the first place, let alone pass the House, the Senate, get the governor's signature. Plan B, unfortunately, is the status quo. We're living Plan B right now. So the idea that there would be, Proposal 1 goes down, that there would be some other way to fix roads that would come up that would also have the support to get passed, it's not very realistic. All these ideas have been put on the table, and they just don't have the support to get passed. So the idea of, the Catastrophic Claims Association taking money from that, first of all, it's not a permanent solution. That's just borrowing from a fund to put off the decision one more year. And what you're doing is you're taking it from a fund that is meant to pay for the injuries, auto injuries that people have experienced, catastrophic medical loss, and so those are the I think it's a good example of you could take it from people that have experienced catastrophic medical problems, but good luck getting the votes on that. I mean, that's not and it's just not a permanent, ongoing solution. That just really gets you past one more year, not the next generation, which is what we really need.
Well, I appreciate you answering the questions about the roads. I'm sure we'll be talking about it up until the May election. Hey, news last week that Michigan has added 400,000 private sector jobs since 2010. We talk about Michigan recovery and Michigan being the comeback state. Talk a little bit about that news, about the 400,000 private sector jobs added since 2010.
You have to go back to the 90s before you see job growth like we're experiencing today. But what we're seeing now in Michigan is better than what we saw in the 90s in terms of job growth because it's much more diverse than before. So we have a manufacturing comeback in our state, but we also see tourism and agriculture. We see the service sector coming back, the retail sector coming back. We see our downtown urban centers and our cores that are finally making progress and improvement as well. And so when you have that type of a diversity in your comeback, you know that our people are making exciting, special things happen in our community. And it's not because anybody from the government did anything so smart, except for we just made the environment good for success. So what we wanted to do is just create the best possible environment for job growth in our state. And the assumption that we made was that our people will know what to do. They will get out there and turn their ideas into opportunities and jobs. And that's exactly what's happening.
Thursday, tomorrow, World Autism Awareness Day, April, National Autism Awareness Month. I know this is an issue close to your heart. Your daughter has autism. She's on the spectrum. Talk a little bit about autism awareness.
I like to think about it as much as autism acceptance as autism awareness. This is a great opportunity for those of us who have experience in this area to really reintroduce the world to people with autism that have amazing things to contribute to society. There's a different approach, or people with autism have extraordinary gifts. They also have some challenges, and so if we support people with autism in the way that they're educated in the beginning, and access to the world, and access to transition services to get jobs, you'll find that they have so much to contribute. In fact, in some ways, autism, it can be like a superpower. There are people with autism that have done extraordinary things in the past, and it's because they have this huge capacity to do things, can be real experts in certain areas. And so I like to advocate for people to think about autism in a totally new light, like not like a disability, but more like it's a difference, but it's one that brings a richness and diversity to our communities. And why not make the best possible use of that and provide the widest possible access? So I'm excited about April every year, so that we can really just charge up that conversation and make sure that we're giving our kids the services that they need, so they can become independent adults that are living self-determined and successful lives.
We talked a little bit about Michigan's recovery and perhaps a highlight for you over the past 4 or 5 years since you've been lieutenant governor. Back in 2012, you signed a law that would require insurance companies to cover treatment for autism up until the age of 18. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Up until 2012, there was a widespread practice that insurance companies denied coverage for the main behavioral therapies that are required for somebody with autism to gain the ability to communicate, in a lot of cases to speech or to use speech in an effective way. And, of course, if a person never learns how to speak or communicate, or to otherwise deal with other people in effective ways, there's a huge diminishment of their ability to be independent and successful in the future. So we changed the law in 2012 that said medically necessary services for people with autism need to be covered just like they are for other things. If a person has cancer, insurance covers certain things. If somebody has heart disease, it covers certain things. The idea is that really autism shouldn't be treated any differently than any other condition, and that the medically necessary things shouldn't be excluded. And so after that passed in 2012, what we saw was, and what we're experiencing today, is that there are a lot more people that practice in this field. There had been discrimination against coverage of people with autism for so long that there weren't very many people that provided the services in our state, just a few dozen. For just the kids, there's 15,000 kids, maybe 50,000 adults with autism in our state. We had maybe 30 or 40 people that provided behavioral therapy for autism. And now that number is up to well over a couple of hundred, and it's growing, and it needs to grow. And so it's an exciting time. We've got a long way to go, but we've come a long way since 2012.
Well, I'm sure all of those families with members with autism, and as you like to say earlier, autism acceptance, appreciate you advocating on their behalf. And tonight, you and your family, you'll be in Grand Rapids for a walk to teach more people about accepting those with autism.
We'll be my family and I, including my daughter, we're going to be walking across the Blue Bridge in Grand Rapids, and it's an event that is put on by Hope Network, which is a great autism behavioral therapy provider. And so we'll be walking across the bridge and hopefully get the word out. Talk a lot about what it means to have autism, what people with autism need in order to reach their highest and best potential, and then go to work on trying to make sure that we create a world that is accepting and accommodating to all people. And it would be my goal that we don't. I mean, it's important. This is Autism Awareness Month, but we don't start with autism. Everybody with a neurological difference that maybe has a brain disorder, has a mental health issue, or has a developmental disability, any brain difference that we need to be very intentional about creating a world that is both accepting and effective and accommodating, so that people can live meaningful lives. People can really live lives that have access to community and all the things that make life rich.
Well, thank you again for what you do. One last question before we let you go. I know you were in East Lansing welcoming home the Spartans earlier this week after making it to the Final Four. Any predictions for Saturday night's game against Duke?
The Michigan State Spartans this year have overcome so much, and they keep on defying the odds. And I sure wouldn't bet against them. Of course, I wouldn't anyway. But the Spartans they're such an inspiration. I've been, of course, since I was a kid following Michigan State basketball, and I went to college there, and that's when I really got into the program. And the last time they won the national championship, or right before that, and so I'm feeling good about their chances to go all the way. And of every team, by the way, every team I've ever watched at Michigan State, this is the one that I've had more fun watching this team go from the bubble to the Final Four. This is just such an exciting year. I'm loving it.
Lieutenant Governor Calley, again, we appreciate your time, and we look forward to future conversations with you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.